talkers. Trash talkers. We're just smack talkers. Trash talkers. So let's talk about, the ramifications of Isiah not shaking hands. He didn't make the Olympic team. Now, we were talking earlier before we went live, and, Isiah did have some skeletons. He wasn't, I don't know if Isiah back then was the best person in the world. The things about, talking about Magic after he caught HIV, talking about his sexual preferences, and he knew Magic well. So the stuff he's saying, he knew wasn't true. So you wonder why he went there.
Well, he kissed him at half court, which is a little soft. I don't know.
Yeah,
I always remember that, and I was like, I don't know. That just didn't look right. The little kiss on the cheek before a game.
Right.
I've never seen like
don't accuse somebody else of something,
yeah.
And then you don't accuse yourself of the same thing, especially if you're involved in it.
Right. So I don't.
That's kind of crazy.
It doesn't look like you have a problem with that. So why are you trying to? I guess Shakespeare puts it, thou dost protest too much.
Right.
So I don't know, and that's just more stuff that, that's speculation about all of that stuff. And it did have to say that with the connotation behind HIV at the time,
right,
was a terrible statement to make, considering that, those guys were supposed to be friends. So
yeah, really good friends.
Really good friends.
Right.
Really good friends. So is that we talked, there's something about the nature of Isiah that rubs people the wrong way. Now, whether it's just the way he comes off, or is it the things that he's doing that, he thinks his charming smile will, let him get past. But something's there. And let me just put it right out here. Isiah is one of my favorite players, point guards of all time. I loved his game all the way through and through. I thought that was the definition of a point guard in every way. He did everything that, a point guard. He was, it was no gimmicks. He was just a good point guard. He could score. He could pass. He could do everything. He actually could rebound pretty well too. So I love Isiah on the court. I love Isiah's commentary now. I just don't understand. There's something that belies that smile that has Jordan and others. AD came on there. Adrian Dantley said he was still upset that, the only reason why he got traded off of that winning Detroit team was because of Isiah.
Right.
He's still bitter about it. So when you leave a trail of bitter people, you have to ask the question. Now, why is Jordan worried about Isiah? It looked like he would have an easier time of just like, oh, we beat him. I went on to win 3, then won another 3. So why is he there? But and Isiah suffered the biggest injury. He didn't play with that. He's not associated with the dream team, and he should have been.
So let me answer that one question you had, and we can delve into it more deeply later. So you asked why is Jordan worried about it? Jordan takes every little slight and blows it up like it's the worst thing in the world. And it may be okay if you can let it go maybe a week later, but after 30 years, if you think it's the worst thing in the world, you need to check yourself, dude, man.
Yeah.
You should be thinking about something like, in fact, you should be laughing about it at this point.
Yeah.
You should be able to talk to Isiah and say, man, you didn't shake our hands after we kicked y'all's butt, man. And, they should just have a little giggle over it because, like you said, Detroit, for 3 straight years, knocked them out.
Right.
So, it's almost, it's not even, but, both of y'all dished it and both of y'all, took some dishing, right? So took some blows.
Yeah, and it goes to that psyche of the uber athlete. I think it's like you had Ali and Frazier.
Right.
I mean, you put those guys together, and even though they both, when they're apart, they both kind of talk about the respect they have, but they
Hmm.
didn't like each other, man. Especially Frazier. Frazier just thought that Ali went way too far in some of the things he said.
Right. And he
He
did.
just never was. He just never was going to accept him,
Right.
and so you
Right.
have those things. Even like Wilt and Kareem, I mean, Bill Russell. I mean, not Wilt, not Kareem, but Bill Russell and Wilt. They never, they recognize each other. They
Mhm.
respect each other, but
Right.
they weren't really,
I
after
think
you
it's
go after somebody like that, I don't know if you can go back in and shake hands and smoke a cigar.
yeah. So let's get back to Isaiah not being on the Olympic team. It kind of bothered me then, and it actually bothers me more now because, as we were talking earlier before we went live, he can't have a dream team with Christian Leitner on it over Isaiah.
Oh yeah,
And the Pistons were a two-time champion back to back. They had no players on that team.
right.
I
They
mean,
had the coach.
yeah, yeah. I
That
mean,
didn't make any sense either.
that doesn't count to me. He was, and Chuck Daly was an excellent coach, though.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was
don't
excellent.
get that
Yeah,
twisted. He was a good coach. But I mean, if you didn't like Isaiah, put Joe Dumars on it.
yeah, yeah,
I always thought he was a classy player.
yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, I feel for Isaiah because there's always there's many documentaries about the Dream Team, and I always on a Saturday afternoon, if I'm going through YouTube and I see like a video of them, I always watch it,
right,
and I always see that he's not on it.
right. I'm sure he always watches it and sees that he's not
Right.
on the.
Yeah. Try to figure a way to put his face and body in the video or something. Or put his face over Leitner's face.
Yeah,
So
then
and actually they could have had if they even had Shaq as a college because Shaq and Leitner were in college together, right?
yeah. Now,
I think they
if
were
you're gonna take a college player, Leitner was a better college player than Shaq was. And if you look at
okay.
across the board,
I will agree. I'll agree with
yeah,
that. But if you project it over an NBA career, I mean, you could look who was drafted first, right? I mean,
right,
everybody knew Shaq was going to be a better player,
right.
but Leitner did he had a crazy college career,
Oh yeah, no,
no
Leitner
no
was
doubt about it,
yeah,
no
Leitner
doubt
was no
about
joke.
it. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he had a
Uh,
little bit of attitude too, to say the least.
yeah, I mean, not
Nobody
to
liked him either.
yeah, and not
And
to
he
veer
made the
too far
team.
off. Yeah, why in the world was he that good of a pro? That kind of always
Yeah.
amazed me at why he really never played better in the pros.
Yeah, it was kind of weird too. And
Yeah,
so, yeah. But yeah, so I do think that they made a mistake in not having Isaiah, but there was something that was there that I guess no one's going to really talk about. Why? The people who made the decision, it could have been that certainly Jordan probably had some pretty strong influence in that, and Magic probably did too,
right.
based on what he had said. And who knows who else?
Karl
And
Malone. I mean, I guess if you're a good executive of the Dream Team, you've got a pretty good feel and a good pulse of the team. And I think those guys knew that Isaiah wasn't going to be good chemistry wise on that
right,
team.
right.
Now, but knowing that, if you put yourself in the decision making process and knowing that, what do you do? Do you put Isaiah on the team?
Well, you could win without him for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I
Winning
don't
was
know.
no
I don't.
winning
Yeah,
was no problem.
and so, yeah. I just it wasn't. It wasn't right. But it wasn't like he wasn't. He still wasn't looked upon like you left Magic off or Larry Bird off, or
That's the funny part about it. They got it mostly right.
Yeah,
90% right.
Yeah, they got the right people on there, and I mean, even the addition of Leitner, you could say, okay, we're just going to pay a little homage to the tradition of U.S. basketball over in the Olympics, and we'll have a college player on the team, which at the time I wasn't so offended by. I just like, wow, why Leitner? But the premise of it, I was okay with, I guess, because they had all those other guys. It wasn't like you needed anyone else to win, but it wasn't a privilege, honor, and I think that you got to work. If you're going to be on that team, you should have worked, and you should, it's a recognition that you should have earned, and certainly Lake hadn't earned it at the time.
Right, and I'm thinking more of a historical, because that's considered the greatest team of all time.
Right.
Like in any sport, right?
Right.
And so you're going down the list of guys. I mean, and they're just studs, man.
Oh, yeah. No.
Gordon, Pippen, Barkley, Malone, Stockton. I mean, all those guys are like studs, man. And then you have Leitner. And so, 30 years from now, people are asking why Leitner's on the team. Add another 50 years from now. Are people going to understand why Leitner's on that team?
No, they're not. It's not going to make any sense.
Right.
Why? Who was this guy? People are going to look up his stats and Google, like, okay, let me look up his stats. And
that's not going to make any sense.
Okay, what was going on here?
Right.
It's not going to make sense. But at the time, it was okay, I guess. And but yeah, I mean, Isiah has a legitimate gripe. And that's why, me, I always think you can't go wrong with getting the best players, putting them on the team, the best players to get the most minutes, because then it becomes politics. And once you get into politics in sports, then it just undermines the credibility of it.
Right.
And so I think from that aspect, like he said, he certainly deserved, based on his resume, based on his skill and everything else, he deserved to be on the team. Now, you could have not played him, well, you could not play him.
No, I mean,
he would have to play.
Isiah's a stud, man. You don't leave Isiah on the bench for too long.
Yeah, I mean, you have Magic have to share some time at the point with Isiah. I don't think Stockton played that much. I don't recall a lot of highlights with John Stockton.
No, but they didn't play. I mean, I think the last video I saw, they actually split starting lineups.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Which they could.
Yeah. I mean, they were blowing teams out by at least 30 every night.
Oh, by at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't care who was really out there. So, and plus, Magic didn't want to play. I don't know. What is the game? Is the game 40 minutes in the Olympics?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Something like that. I mean, those guys don't want to play more than about 20 minutes, 25 minutes anyway. So
yeah.
So
just kind of tying back something you said the last time about Scottie Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of him as a player? He established himself on that dream team as a real player. I mean, he was, they gave him a lot of compliments on how good Scottie was playing against all those guys and playing with all those guys. And it was clear that Scottie,
he belonged there. He belonged.
Yeah. So that says something, that playing with those guys, Scottie was, nobody was saying, well, why is Scottie here? So
no, Magic wasn't saying it.
I know.
Scottie said, I locked you down in the championship.
Yeah.
And if you talk too much smack to me, I'm going to be locking you down in these practices.
Yeah. So no, Magic didn't have anything to say. So that was interesting. So, just closing that loop, Scottie definitely is one of the best.
So let's wrap up this segment. What are you saying? Are you saying that Isiah, Yeah, it was a bad that he was left off, but he has to take some responsibility for it. What do you wrap it up for me? What are you saying about well, how should Isiah be feeling right now about it? Or should you just
Yeah,
let it go?
well, Isiah to not shake hands and to kind of just the way he exited was kind of weird. And to not shake hands, that's just not a good move, you know. And so every now and then you do something bad and it gets it just gets blown out of proportion. We can't argue that what he did, that was not appropriate.
No,
It's sports,
that was definitely wasn't
and
cool. Definitely
yeah, it
wasn't cool.
wasn't cool. So he paid a high price for it, much more than probably anyone could imagine. But what he did was wrong. And so for him, he should have corrected that sooner. And I think that's kind of what Jordan is saying. Jordan's like, okay, now after all these years, he wants to say the right thing. But,
Right.
If it were a heat of the moment type of thing, he should have called me the next day or 2 days later, or a week later, a month later. Say, yo, man, it was heated. I was in the moment. Those guys running the same circle. He could have said, that was wrong. I'm sorry, man. I didn't. You guys deserve it. You guys. That was tough. And he could have said he could have squashed it early.
Right.
But obviously he did not. So I think it was draconian punishment for what happened for that act. But Isiah has to take the responsibility, and Jordan just needs to let it go.
Trash talkers. Trash talkers. We're just smack talkers. Trash talkers.